there as history is made. The race that stops the nation.
They're off.
It is a magic moment.
Don't miss the Emirates Melbourne Cup. Tuesday, live and free on 7 and the free 7 Live app.
But have we got the sting out of the track? I think it's running
I think early on in the day, there is enough juice in the track to suit him. Of course, you would love more rain around for a horse like Killstorm. I think he's a great each-way play.
Absolutely. I mean, some of those races in Adelaide were on a firmish track as well, but if I was backing him, if I was spending $10, I'd have $2 a win and maybe $8 for the place, because I reckon he'll be really strong late. He should fall into a place worse way.
I've never heard of a place bet. Cheska, who's the pick of the yard for you?
I think on physique, I think definitely horse number 2, Harlem, is the pick of the yard. Whether he's guaranteed at this distance and whether I can really see him being a live competitor in the Melbourne Cup should he win, I'm not sure. But it's a fairly open race, I'd say.
Jared Middleton, really keen to see this race. You win, and you're in the Emirates Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, exactly right, Rich Selwyn. Look, Harlem's been best backed all week. Was $4.80 on Wednesday, firmed into $3.80. Now just back to $3.90. Still holding the call. Will be our worst result. Is a $34 chance in the Melbourne Cup market as well. Late money coming for the Geelong Cup winner. Vonga Mars has been $7.50 into $5 since Wednesday. Also, Killstorm at odds was 11 into 7, just back to $8. But they're firmly with the favourite here, Harlem.
So Harlem the one for the Hayes Dabernick camp. So he's on his way to the barrier. Dwayne Dunn up. Back with the Lexus. And our previous event was the skip sprint. Scheidel went out as one of the favourites, hoping to win it in consecutive years. But it was won by a mare that cost just a couple of $1,000. She caught Darren Weir's eye and he decided to spend that couple of grand, and Lo's now gone on to bigger and better things. Damien Lane, the rider, and she was able to win the skip sprint. And Census Digital are official partners of the 2017 Melbourne Cup Carnival. So well done to Darren Weir, his team, and Talayuba after the skip sprint today. What a great scene, wonderful crowd here. Weather getting a little better by the hour, to be honest. The sun breaking through the Lexus. Hamish, you're behind the barrier. Might just get the hot horse first from Jared, because you have not been far off the mark, mate, with the last couple getting home. Who's the hot horse?
Yeah, will be number 6, Vongamas Bruce, the Geelong Cup winner. 7 into $5 here late, and it's $101 in our all-in Melbourne Cup market.
And Hamish, could there be a better start? I know it's a short run of the first term, but boy, oh boy, what a starting position it is.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, Bruce. The one thing that is extraordinary is that the crowd are maybe 8 or 9 feet from the rail, and then the jockeys on the horses are literally just a few feet away. The one thing that you may not pick up, Bruce, from where you are, is that the wind has really picked up. I was just speaking with Julian Welsh, who's the clerk of the course. It's about 25 kilometres an hour across the track. It's coming from the southwest, so whether or not that plays a role at all in this race or throughout the afternoon, but it's just worth bearing in mind. And Julian's saying the wind is continuing to pick up. In terms of the horses, all these old campaigners, they're all very relaxed. They're all going in easily. It'll be tricky for Matty Hill. Both Aloft and Allwood look very similar. But in terms of the horse, they all went down to the sort of 1,000 metres or the 1,200 metre start, but all very relaxed.
Well, the stakes are high. The money's good, and of course the chance to run in the Cup. And normally, if you win this, you run pretty well in the Cup.
Yeah, history says that is the case. I'm going to take a throw at the stumps from deep square leg here and tip Gardini.
Interesting, and not a particularly sound horse like you told me, Richard, but definitely talented. I'm torn. I think it's between Harlem and probably Killstorm. To be honest, I can't really see any of these particularly being competitive in a cup. I mean, we had to go back to 2009, shocking, the last one.
But horses can like sign up in the first 4 stuff. So okay. No, I'm with you. I mean, here's Matt Hill for his call.
They're ready to run. Sets and racing. Pretty good line as well. Harlem goes back towards the end of the field, and Elward third last. Pentathlon back with it with Killstorm. Beginning well is Kiss Montaigne, and at the post will lead from on the outside Vonja Mask, then Ecuador. Aloft is fourth out 3 deep at the moment from Gardini, 2 lengths Savannah Cooler. followed further back by Harlem, then Elward, Kelstorm and Pentathlon is last. They leave the straight and head out towards the riverside. 2,100 to go. It's Kismontaine by a length on Jamask and aloft on the outside third. A length and a quarter away then to Ecuador, followed by Gardini, then Havana Cooler, and then well back is Harlem with three behind it, Elwood, Kelstorm and Pentathlon. Kismontaine by a half length to on the outside aloft, who just gets up on the steel and goes up and puts a bit more pressure on Kismontaine heading towards the mile marker. It's Kismontaine by a length and a half. Second is aloft, 2 lengths Ecuador, the inside of Von Jamask. A length away Havana Cooler, tucked in, fifth on the rails from Gardini, and then came along the inside heading towards the 1,450 metre mark is Harlem at that stage now with Pentathlon behind it. Elward is a length off those just ahead of them, and at the end of the field is Kelstorm. So with 1,400 metres to run, and Kismontaine extends the margin now out to about 3 lengths. Second aloft, 2 lengths to Von Jamask on the outside of Ecuador, followed by Gardini, the outside of Havana Cooler. Elward and Harlem race together. Second last in the race is Pentathlon and Kelstorm last. Well, Kismontaine, every post a winner. 1,000 metres to go is out clear by 5 lengths now. Second in the race is aloft, and then came Von Jamask on the outside of Ecuador, a length Gardini, a length and a half Havana Cooler. They were followed by Harlem and Elward, Kelstorm and Pentathlon. Approaching the turn at the 700 metres. Kismontaine, Baster's just starting to row along, leads by 2 lengths Von Jamask and aloft. Then Gardini. Harlem hooks to the outside from Elward, and then came Ecuador. Well back Havana Cooler and Kelstorm. It's Kismontaine at the 450. Hasn't got anything left. Leads by 3/4 Von Jamask on the outside. Harlem's joining in as well. And further back in the field, Elward running on. Kismontaine kicks at the 250, but Von Jamask levels up. 2 lengths Elward and Pentathlon on the outside of the clock tower. 150 out, Kismontaine just from Von Jamask. Pentathlon, Kismontaine brave, Von Jamask and Pentathlon. Kismontaine is holding on, and Kismontaine makes its way into the great race. Von Jamask, Pentathlon for the Miners, a gap Elward. Followed then by, behind them, Havana Cooler, Harlem, then came aloft Ecuador, and at the end, Kelstorm.
So Stephen Baster, well, it's actually his first one on Derby Day for 17 years, can you believe it? He's been having a great run over the last 12 months, particularly with Gay and Adrian Bott. They've become a lethal combination, and this was a gutsy win, and Kismontaine's into the cup. Gay's got a runner.
Well, all credit to Stephen Baster, because he rated this horse beautifully. He sent him out in front, and he said, let's make this a real staying contest, and he set decent fractions. Coming into the turn, we were watching thinking, oh, well, he'll probably get swallowed up by a few that are travelling better. He's kind of an awkward moving horse, runs with his head quite high up in the air. He's got that big long stride, but he kept pulling out the stops. I have to say, I'm quite surprised on the evidence of his last run at Moonee Valley. Von Jamask ran a good race, Pentathlon third. I think that probably says a bit about the form, and I don't know, would you fancy him in the Melbourne Cup?
No, but I think he'll lead it for a long time, and he'll certainly run into the straight in the Melbourne Cup and look the winner at some stage. I think they'll run him over, but he's a very strong stayer. It was a very good run in the Moonee Valley Cup. He, on pace, got carved up in that race.
He did. Well, what a gutsy ride too by Stephen Baster. He's with Dean Pettit right now.
Another Saturday, another winner for Stephen Baster. Kismontaine, brave. Yeah, he was tough. We went out with a plan to let him roll, and you know that's his strategy. You know, the best way for him to win is to roll along and keep going. And I presume they had to work to get to me, and then when they got to me, he kicked again. So he's a tough bugger.
I noticed you increased the speed at about the 1,400 metre mark and kept increasing, and as you said, trying to take the sprint out of them.
Yeah, I wanted them to work to get to me. It was always going to look like I was going too early on him, but like I said, you know, Adrian and Gay have done a great job with him, and he's fit and tough, and still wanted to lay all over the inside runner rail, but got the job done.
How would he aim up in a Melbourne Cup? I mean, it is a big task, but how do you think he'll aim up?
Well, if you spoke to me about him 6 months ago, I would have said he'd be flat out winning a midweeker, so he's just improved out of sight, and the team, you know, even Roger here at the stable, they've done such an amazing job with him. Like, I just couldn't have dreamt him to be here today.
Things are going great for you. Well done.
Thanks very much, Dan.
So Stephen Baster there, just talking about the courage. He was headed by Von Jamask. He's got 50 kg in the cup at the moment. I'm with Richard. I mean, I think he's probably the obvious leader. I mean, he's going to be 100 to 1 or 80 to 1 chance. I mean, this is not a Melbourne Cup winning performance, but it's a gutsy win. You actually beat him home, Richard, in the St Leger with your old bloke, Orvray, didn't you?
Yes, of course. Should have had Orvray here today, but he couldn't beat him home in the Moonee Valley Cup. Look, he's just a tough old stayer. Now, Pentathlon ran home, who's another tough old stayer, probably not in great form. And Vosgemask, well, he got that, he did have his chance, and he got that Geelong Cup. There's Gay. She's always the same, always confident and always celebrating.
And Richo, you're with Adrian Bond.
Yeah, well, I'm with Adrian Bott. We've seen a lot of Gay throughout our 7 Spring Carnival. Wonderful to see you here in Melbourne. How tough is this horse?
He's incredible. I thought he was gone there on numerous occasions there throughout the straight, but he kept fighting, digging in deep, and very strong late. You know, it's probably sounds a bit ridiculous to say, but he's really only just learning what it's all about now. He's just starting to put it all together at the right time.
And like we saw at Moonee Valley, 1,000 metres out, you couldn't possibly back him, but he's just so tough.
He is, and Steve got into a beautiful rhythm today. He was able to get his own way in front. Even though he's out by a few lengths, he was doing it comfortably. He's into a nice rhythm. He got going early, and as I said, just at the top of the straight there, I thought we went a little bit of strife, but he's just incredibly tough horse and fantastic to see.
I've never seen Gay camera shy, but she said, no, you need to talk to Adrian. He does a lot of work with this horse.
Oh, look, it's a great team effort. We're very fortunate to have the support that we have around us, particularly the team down here in Melbourne, but also the team up home in Sydney do countless hours to get the horse prepared and bring them down here as well. So it's fantastic for everyone involved.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks very much.
Great stuff. So at this stage, Kisfontaine in. Thomas Hobson would have to rely on John Snow. So all of that to play itself out. But one of the feature races today is the Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes. And Coolmore is one of the biggest racing and breeding operations in the world. And shortly Hamish will take us inside the massive setup. Looking forward to that. But Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott successful here. And there's American Pharaoh, by the way, who won the Triple Crown in the United States. And he's standing at Coolmore. But Kisfontaine, what a strong, courageous horse he turns out to be. He's by High Chaparral. They are brilliant, and he was a Coolmore horse that went on to win all sorts of things and then went on to be a great sire. We'll be back with plenty more.
Be there as history is made. The race that stops the nation.
They're off.
It is a magic moment.
Don't miss the Emirates Melbourne Cup. Tuesday, live and free on 7 and the free 7 Live app.
His only 3 runs this preparation, he's been wide in all of them, and he's been very, very brave. He came back from 1,400 metres to 1,200 metres and won again. Look, I think he's a very tough horse in the straight. Well, he'll appreciate that because he won't be sitting wide around a corner.
Merchant Navy was a lot shorter than Trapeze Artist when they last met, Richo.
Oh, he's a forgotten horse, isn't he? Now the blinkers go on for the first time. Mark Zara's in red-hot form. I wouldn't underestimate this guy. He's an immense talent.
Dracarys, well, he's won the up-and-coming. He was also in the Golden Rose.
Yes, that was 5 weeks ago now, the Golden Rose, so there's been a bit of a break. He comes back to 200 metres in distance. Look, I just question whether he's got the class to beat this field. He's a very good horse, but he's drawn out wide and he'll need a bit more class than he has, I think.
I think Toby Edmonds was not going to run Eptom and Cheska, but when he won so well at the Valley, he was just compelled to, wasn't he?
Absolutely. I think he surprised a lot of people on that day. He's a very progressive horse, lightly raced, as opposed to a lot of these that were very strong at 2. This is the one that's really coming up through the grades late. Off the back of his win at Moonee Valley, you have to include him.
Last 600 of the day at the Valley.
So there he is, Eptimum. Richo, Lone Eagle. Gee, I liked his run at Caulfield.
How amazing was it? He's $41 today. He was as much as $61 early in the week. He broke 34 seconds the last 600 metres. A sectional star and a terrific talent. I think he's the best each-way chance in the race.
Cheska, let's go down to the fillies. They've had a bit of success in this race. The only race that Hootsum didn't start favourite in was the Everest, and she wasn't too bad.
Well, exactly. Considering that she was running against bigger, older, stronger sprinters, she really didn't go too badly. I just remember back at that day at the Gold Coast and Magic Millions where she won from that wide barrier, went forward, managed to sustain a really strong speed all the way. Gosh, she's quick and she's seriously tough. I wonder whether those tactics, those front-running tactics, how they're going to play out today.
and winners can win this race. Richo, we know that Sepoy's one of two to have done it in recent years. Look, back from the Caulfield Guineas, but she did win the Danehill here.
Oh, she was terrific in the Caulfield Guineas, considering she was against the boys. She's defeated the boys in the past. She's the best of the fillies for mine, and you get the big advantage. H. Bowman on in a Group 1. Now that Winks is done and dusted, you watch Huey have a big day.
Which another one that's dropping back from the mile. Again, is it an afterthought or is this the plan the whole way along? I think she'd need a very fast tempo to win.
Cheska, I know Coolmore were keen for Jamie Spencer to ride Chilla, but apparently he's a great rider down the straight.
He's a very good rider generally, and especially down the straight. He would have had a lot of experience over in Europe, where a lot of our sprint races are down the straight. So he's flown in to take the ride there. I think Tulip, again, is another one that comes in with great credentials. 5th in the Everest last time out. Honestly, it's such a difficult field. You can give a chance to nearly every horse.
No doubt about that. Formality must be a chance as well. It is an elite field. James, how are we betting?
Look, I want to be on something drawn towards the inside. I think Viridine certainly has got a lot of promise. Although I also think Optimum's a chance, but from having a bet, I'll probably back Viridine.
Okay, extraordinary talent in the mounting yard. Was there a pick?
There really is, isn't there? The one that fascinated me, who I fancied on paper coming into this, is Invincible Star, the Gay Waterhouse trained filly. I saw her in the mounting yard, and she always appears to be carrying a bit of condition, essentially. She looks a bit fat, but that's what happens with these sprinters. They're often really burly and strong, and she's got incredible speed, that little filly.
20 runners, Jared Middleton. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a beauty. Who's the favourite?
You do well if you pick the winner here, but Francesca's picked their Invincible Star, $9.50 yesterday, has rocketed into favouritism into $6.50. I see a big red figure though next to Catchy. Red is bad for the tab, good for the punters, and Catchy's been 8 into $7.50 this morning. It's comfortably best back. Next best backed is Viridine. We've been happy to let it drift though from $8 to $10, and best backed at odds Merchant Navy was 26 into 11, now just back to $18. And this race being a Group 1, it qualifies for our Group 1 and 2 insurance offer today. You have a fixed odds win bet and your horse runs second or third, cash back up to $50, Bruce.
Thanks, Jared. Well, it's one of the highlights of a fantastic day at Flemington. It's the Coolmore Stud Stakes.
Will it all come down to a photo finish? The Chase, next week at 5.
So much interest in the Lexus Stakes today because in many ways it's the last stand, isn't it? It's a chance to get into the Emirates Melbourne Cup. The Lexus, a time-honoured race, had a triple-dead heatway back in 1956, this one. 8 of the 10 were attempting to get themselves into the Cup today. Kismontaine went out with a strong gallop. Stephen Baxter, by the way, has been in the stewards room for a while for excessive use of the whip. He was headed by Von der Maas. Pentathlon probably nearly got level. He kicked back, gave Waterhouse and Adrian Bott have a runner in the Cup on Tuesday. Just who rides this horse, we're not so sure. That was the Lexus. Because at the moment, Baxter's down to ride John Snow. There's some conjecture about whether he will start or not. Hey, Jared from the tab, there are a lot of hot horses in this field, but who's the hot horse for the race?
Has to be Invincible Star, Bruce. Loath to make the favourite in such a wide race. The tab hot horse, but the market speaks all languages. $9.50 yesterday, now favourite at $6.50. Some late money for Trapeze Artist as well, 8 into 7, but Catchy carrying the bulk of the punters' cash.
Hamish, 100 years ago, there was a charge of the Light Brigade. The stakes that day were even higher than they are, and this is what we've got. You're down at the start.
I am just listening to Noel Keller. He's just, as always, sort of running the show verbally. But the colts of those that came down easily, there was the Mission Summer Passage and Viridine, but Trapeze Artist with the steward the whole way down. The fillies, all very relaxed. Catchy, she came down with the earmuffs on. She'll have those off, but so different from the last race. The old geldings and colts who've done it over distance and all so relaxed. These are the speedsters, and they're younger. They've had a very small area to mill around in, and the Barrier boys have done a great job.
Good stuff, Hamish. You're in a great position again.
I actually didn't see Catchy in the parade ring, but I know of the Hayes Dublin camp, she is the pick of the 3 fillies, but really it's very hard to put a line through any of these. There are a few at a bit of bigger price, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 16 of the 20 winning, I suppose.
I like Trapeze Artist as a horse. I think he's in the elite group of horses with his athleticism, and provided he does everything right, I think he run a big race.
Well, once they moved this race from September to this date, they made it a Group 1. It's become so important for stallion. The right colt wins this with the right breeding. It's almost the most valuable race in Australian racing. It's there with the Golden Slipper, I think, right now, as the two biggest stallion-making races. Good luck, Matty Hill. He's got some challenge. Here's the Coolmore start.
Summer Passage goes up, and Dracaris will be the last drawn barrier, number 20. 20 to go in the first of the Group 1s for the Melbourne Cup Carnival, the Coolmore Stat Stakes. Dracaris is in, set to run. Ready for the Coolmore Stat Stakes. Stalls are back and they're racing. And from the centre, Kementari began cleanly, and at this stage, it looks as though they might split towards the outside. Trapeze Artist shows speed with also Dracaris on the outside, and not far away is Catchy behind those with Limestone. There was 4 thinking about coming to the outside, but now they're veering towards the inside running rail. It's Invincible Star leading from Malahat, and right behind the speed after 400 metres is Jukebox and also Full Melody. The Mission's up there with Summer Passage, Goodfella and Hoots, and in that group of horses, Viridina's right behind the speed with the white cap onto the course proper at the 600 metres. Then Lone Eagle, next Kementari, Trapeze Artist, Merchant Navy, followed further back in the field by Tulip, and then came Vassergeist. Well back, Dracaris out deeper from Andaz and also Limestone. Invincible Star at the 300 metres, leads by a length and a half, Full Melody, followed by Jukebox, Viridine. Then came Malahat and Hootson. Invincible Star at the 150, leads by a length. Full Melody is trying hard to pick up Invincible Star. It's Invincible Star. Merchant Navy's flashing. Invincible Star holding on. Merchant Navy throws and got up. Right on the line, Merchant Navy has beaten Invincible Star or Full Melody for 4th. The photo, Limestone, Dracaris there with also Viridine. Then Malahat, Goodfella. Behind those horses, Hoots and Optimum. And then came Andaz, Limestone, Lone Eagle, Jukebox, Catchy, well back in the field, Tulip, Trapeze Artist, The Mission, Vassergeist, and Summer Passage.
Oh, what a performance. What a run. This colt by Fastnet Rock. Just the one defeat. He's come with a flashing run out of a good mare. Mark Zara's never won a race on Derby Day, any race, and neither at Aaron Purcell. And Invincible Star's home.
I know, but look where the winner has come from. We've got, 200 metres to run there, and he's got, 6, 7, 8 lengths to make up on Invincible Star. Yes, she might be tiring, but wow, this horse, Merchant Navy, has absolutely flown home to collar her late. You've got to feel for Invincible Star and all the connections, because she did look home. But wow, what a win.
He drew barrier 15, and at this stage you see him going to the inside. It's only the last 100 metres here where he just grabs the prize on the line. But he came from the middle of the field. You see him coming across heels now. And you'll see him start to lengthen stride. There he goes across heels to the inside and lengthen stride right down the wind. But where did he come from? He was boxed away in the back of the field and just found his way to the inside with about 250 metres to run.
And the way the race unfolded, looking from above, it appeared to be that those in the lower numbers had the advantage. Invincible Star drawn in 7, jumped well, and a few fanned in behind her. Those out wide had to end up coming across. Yes, they lost a little bit of ground coming across, but Merchant Navy, he must have come from the clouds. If you look at his connections, thinking, oh my gosh, we might be in with a shot here, and absolutely cheering him home, because that was pretty exciting.
So Mark Zara wins his first Derby Day victory. What a victory it was. Sensational.
Well, Merchant Navy goes bang. Mark Zara, you loved every part of that. How exciting. Because I know what you think about this horse. You've stuck with him all the way through, and he's delivered you in our Group 1.
Yeah, that's right. I know a few of the owners, and I just want a thrill, because I wasn't quite sure whether I got there or not, and I just sort of waited and let it pan itself out. We got to the inside, and I thought I was just going to run out of time, but gee, he was strong late.
He's always shown above average. He's an exciting colt, but the trust that you've had in this horse from day one, it's a wonderful combination.
Yeah, look, and geez, a great training of it too. Kieran, I know he's out, but he had a lot to do with the horse, and then since his departure, Dave Eustace and Aaron Purcell, to not go to the Guineas, put the blinkers on, drop back in trip. It's a great plan that's come off.
And even given him a freshen up after the Golden Rose.
Yeah, that's right. They freshened him up, and it was just, it was great planning. Had a couple of offers in the race, so it was good just to, good for all to come off and win a big Group 1.
And for you, it's a Derby Day. It's a massive day. These opportunities, they come along, for you each carnival. It's exciting to ride a Group 1 winner.
Yeah, 100%. I had a bit of a frustrating Moonee Valley, so it's great to come here and they butt the prize me up today, and he's an exciting colt, and These are the one the Colts want to win. Just a great thrill. Well done. Cheers, mate. Hey, Daddy.
Brilliant result for Mark Zahra and Aaron Purcell. Just chatting to Dave Eustace, so much part of this team. What a wonderful colt and a great result for Coolmore to win their race.
That's right. It's a stallion-making race. He's obviously a well-bred fast-net rock colt. We come here hoping to become a Group 1 winning sprinter, and he's obviously done the job in great style.
3 months ago, you're training at Warrnambool, you're with your wife and kids and looking after a small group of horses. Now you're winning the Coolmore Stud Stakes and training for some of the biggest owners in the world. This is remarkable.
That's right. If things hadn't gone the way they would, I would have been at home in Warrnambool cheering Kieran's horses home, and would have been happy for him. But I've come to Melbourne, got a great team of staff around me, and everything that we've done so far has been good, and hopefully it can continue for the next few months.
Well, I reckon if Kieran's laid back, you're pretty laid back as well. I think that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Kieran's known me for a long time, the staff have known me for a little while, and it's a big reason why he wanted me to do the job, because he thought I'd fit in well and make the results happen, which has been great.
You look like the pressure's not getting to you at all. You look at taking it in your stride.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but obviously I've got a job to do, and a busy time, a busy few months, and obviously trying to get the horses into the race in the best shape we can is the main job, and obviously celebrating the results is a little bit on the side. So we're going to have a good day today.
Mate, well done today. That is a massive result, and a stallion has been born in Merchant Navy, and you've done a big part of it. Well done.
No worries, thanks a lot.
Absolutely. You feel for Kieran Maher at the moment, Lord. He's also got Alioisa, who is an odds-on favourite in the Oaks on Thursday.
I saw this horse in Sydney when he came up for the Golden Rose. He was small, he had his winter coat on, he didn't look like a physical specimen who could do the job. He's a different horse today.
And the gear change has made a big difference, hasn't it? I think Connections thought he was also a little bit lazy when he went up to Sydney, so he put his blinkers on. This will be fascinating to see where he actually does come from, because he had that wide alley. He was helped by the fact that they ran a tough, strong, fast 1,200 metres. Invincible Star and Stephen Baxter ran so well. Formality as well in third there, but the winner was just too good.
Absolutely. A sensational race. Michelle Payne's going to join us very, very shortly as we look ahead towards the Melbourne Cup.
For only $65 per person. Go to mansfieldcountryraces.com.au and book a day that's got it all.